On today's episode of SEO Lunch, we talk about sustaining those relationships with your online customers using MailChimp, Gravity Forms, Contact Form 7, and even the integrated WordPress contact form plugin. Hey everyone, welcome to another wonderful episode of SEO Lunch. I'm your host, Dan, and SEO Lunch is your weekly look at the latest and greatest in what's going on with search engine optimization, inbound marketing, content marketing, things like that. Whatever you want to call it, we're here for you. We operate specifically with the WordPress framework, and we show you what kind of new plugins or tips you can use to enhance your content marketing campaign on your WordPress-powered website. As always, folks, subscribe either us right on YouTube with that big old red subscribe button. We do appreciate it there. Or, of course, go to our website. We have exciting stuff planned in the future with regards to forum support, blog posting, and things like that. So definitely really excited about that. Please stay tuned. In the meantime, subscribe to us at slocumstudio.com/subscribe. Bear with me, folks. Today I have the sniffles. Season's changing, and I got those allergies that you're probably all too familiar and aware of. What we're going to talk about today is email leads. Basically, whenever you're, creating web content, blog posts, things like that, you're going to run into the situation where you're going to get frustrated and you're going to say, well, I'm creating this content, people are coming to my website, but that's it. And in some cases, that's enough. If I own like a restaurant or something, and you can find my restaurant and my phone number on your website, it sort of kind of did the trick. You can get a little bit more involved in that if you'd like with the web design, but for all intents and purposes, you kind of met your goal. People needed to find a place to eat. You supplied them with that option online, and they went there, or they called you. But when you're marketing something else, whether it be like e-commerce or you're a creative person, something like that, and you really have to make yourself stand out, it's time to kind of pull out the big guns. And one of the things that people have talked about for years, and actually with some of the new Google Penguin changes that may be coming in the pipelines, may become even more important again, is email marketing. Basically, getting people to contact you on their website, but then not just ending the conversation there. Getting their email address, having them subscribe. At the beginning of our episode, you might have clicked on the subscribe link or subscribe to us. We do want to keep contacting you, and that's kind of part of those efforts. It's a very personal campaign, of course. That's the way you want it to be. So there's a couple different ways to do that. There's kind of more technical ways with newsletters, and then there's just the old typical handshake. So we're going to start with the simple way, which is the typical handshake, and we're going to look at a couple things right on WordPress here. All right, so if you look down at the screen here, I have Contact Form 7 open. So Contact Form 7 is a free plugin out there on the WordPress repository. We actually talked about this one against Gravity Forms, and we'll get to Gravity Forms in a little bit. And these are plugins you can download. Specifically here, Contact Form 7 is a plugin you can download to sort of enhance your contact form needs. So I guess I should back up a little bit and sort of discuss contact forms. So contact forms are typical. I mean, it makes sense. So I'm going to quickly go over it. Your name, what you want to talk about, and what the message is. That way, it sends me an email, and here you set up an email with it. And it basically is going to email the administrator or the email attached there what the comment was, and then you can respond from there. This is great because it gives people an easy, visually pleasing way to say, okay, here's a contact form, and I just want to respond to you, and I want to talk to you, right? You can do that. But the other thing I want to draw your attention to, which is actually quite nice, and in many cases is a lot less convoluted than what it looks like here with Contact Form 7 with all its short codes. Contact Form 7 giving you more options than the default, is if you go to posts here or pages. Let's add a new post here. You're going to notice this is actually not from Contact Form 7. This is built into WordPress now. So if you've been updating your WordPress, you're running it on our minimized theme or whatever you're running it on, you have the contact form here, and it'll run on our theme and on many other themes as well. And if you just hit add contact form here, like right here, so, contact us or whatever. This is a contact us page. Now, I know I'm doing this in post, but you can do this with a page as well. You go to add contact form. It actually has a really, really visually pleasing sort of easy way to say, what's your name and stuff like this. And this is where people are going to write in what they're going to be doing here. So you can move it. You can edit it, or you can just delete sections that you don't want. You can add new fields as well right in here, check boxes, things like that. And it's a really actually pretty fluid system to create a contact form. And then right here, you'll notice this other tab for email notifications. You can enter your email address and what the subject line should be. This way, if you organize your emails by type or whatever, you can create a special smart folder or something that says if the subject is email, I could write email contact from, whoops, I can spell. I think I have to make one spelling mistake in every episode of this show. Email contact form, right? And then you put in your email address, and what would happen is people would email you, and it would go right to your email inbox, and the subject would be email contact form. And it's an easy way to organize it to see where they're coming from that way. So there's that tool. Okay. But what if you want to do more than that? What if you want to build something that we would call an email campaign? I highly recommend them. It allows you to gather a list of names and, of course, ask for your permission, just like, you go to this thing, stay up to date, things like that with our news and newsletters. But making a newsletter is actually pretty easy. There's great tools out there. The one we use here at the studio and the one I use personally as well is MailChimp. It's a very, very popular one. Under 2,000 subscribers, it's actually free. And you can have up to, I think it's 12,000 emails sent a month or so with that one. And they go up from there in price, right? And speaking of price, the other thing you can do with something like a MailChimp is you can download plugins for WordPress that do cost money, like Gravity Forms, which I mentioned a little bit earlier and told you how to get back to it. Well, here we are. So what Gravity Forms basically does, and I'll actually bring it up right here if you want to take a look back at the screen here. Gravity Forms basically, this is an add-on for Gravity Forms with MailChimp, and they have, you'll notice here on the right side here, a lot of other different things you can go to as well. And this actually integrates into WordPress. So you put the Gravity Forms plugin and you download it like every other plugin, which we talked about a couple episodes ago as well. You download that plugin, you activate it, and from there you can actually integrate MailChimp into it. So any email you get or any contact form you get from your WordPress website using Gravity Forms specifically, and this is why it costs money, folks, will automatically tie that name into a list you've created on MailChimp. So that you can grab this huge list that say you get thousands of subscribers on there, and then you can kind of hit them with an email campaign and say, hey, did you know that we added this service? Did you know that we added this feature to the website? Give them free stuff. People love free stuff. That's another great tip that you can take from this episode as well, is just giving people little things, maybe something cool to read, some cool information. And of course, don't be afraid to just ask. Tell people, hey, check this out. Try out our product, try out our service, things like that. So now you have the built-in WordPress contact forms. You have contact form 7, and you have Gravity Forms with MailChimp support for email campaigns. A lot of different options and solutions for you as a business if you think you need this email campaign stuff. If you have more questions about this, sorry for the sniffles, folks. If you have more questions about this, please go to our website. Contact us. We should have that form up soon as well. Of course, comment right below on YouTube or subscribe right on YouTube. We can contact you from there as well. As always, folks, thanks a lot for watching. See you next week.